The Gambler's Ruin Project, powered by SmartBet AI technology. English Premier League, Round 29. This episode is AI-generated and meant for informational purposes only. Gambling can be addictive. Please bet responsibly. This video is not intended as financial or legal advice, and AI is just one tool of several you should use when evaluating soccer matches. Always consider multiple factors before placing bets.
Welcome everyone to another exciting episode. Today we've got AI-driven insights, engaging analysis, and smart betting strategies lined up just for you.
We'll be diving into some thrilling matchups, including Southampton versus Wolves and Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest. It's all about blending AI predictions with tactical analysis.
And remember folks, responsible gambling and bankroll management are key.
Alright, let's kick things off with our first matchup. Southampton hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers at St Mary's Stadium. Two sides with very different approaches but equally desperate for points. Kickoff is set for this Saturday at 3 p.m. and let me tell you, it's shaping up to be a classic Premier League battle.
And by classic, you mean one team trying to break down a low block while the other hopes for a lucky counter, right?
Well, I was trying to be diplomatic, Dom, but yes, that's probably what we're looking at. Now the weather forecast. It's mild, around 10 degrees Celsius with a chance of drizzle. Perfect for a bit of slippery chaos on the pitch.
English football weather at its finest. You can already picture the defenders slipping at the worst possible moments. And let's not forget, wet conditions mean faster passes and trickier ball control, something Wolves might actually thrive on with their counter-attacking style.
True, but Southampton's physical approach could also benefit. A slick surface means those James Ward-Prowse set pieces become even deadlier. One misstep from Wolves, and boom, Kaletakar is heading one in from a corner.
Exactly! And let's not forget what's at stake here. Southampton are fighting to stay out of the relegation zone, while Wolves are looking to climb into mid-table safety. Both teams need a result, and that alone should make this a fiery contest.
Alright, let's see what the AI models are saying about this one. Southampton are the favourites here, with a 57.1% chance of winning. The draw comes in at 25.17%, and Wolves, just 17.73%.
Yikes, Wolves fans, look away now.
Hey, don't count them out just yet, Dom. The most likely scorelines tell a slightly different story. The AI suggests a 1-1 draw is the most probable result at 12.64%, followed by a narrow 1-0 win for Southampton at 11.49%. So, while Southampton are favourites, it's far from a foregone conclusion.
Interesting. So the AI is essentially saying this could be a tight, low-scoring affair. Makes sense given Southampton's struggles in front of goal and Wolves' defensive setup. Speaking of which, Dom, what's your tactical take on this one?
Glad you asked, Anna. Let's start with Southampton. At home, they're going to lean heavily on James Ward-Prowse. He's their talisman, their set-piece wizard, and honestly, their best shot at creating something out of nothing. Expect plenty of corners, free kicks and long balls into the box aimed at Kaletakar or Bednarek.
And let's not forget Che Adams up front. He's physical, he's aggressive, but let's just say his finishing isn't always clinical.
That's putting it kindly, Kat. On the other hand, Wolves are all about the counter-attack. Pedro Neto and Matthias Cunha are their danger men. If Wolves can absorb Southampton's pressure and hit them on the break, they've got a real chance to sneak something here.
And how do the weather conditions factor into all this?
Great question. A wet pitch means quicker transitions, which plays right into Wolves' hands, but it also makes defending set pieces a nightmare. If Southampton can capitalise on that with Ward-Prowse's delivery, Wolves could be in trouble.
So, it's basically a battle of styles. Southampton's physicality and set pieces versus Wolves' speed and counters should make for an intriguing tactical chess match.
Alright, let's talk betting.
Based on the AI predictions and our analysis, here's what we're looking at. Best bet Southampton to win at 57.10%. Alternative bet, the draw at 25.17%. Correct score bets, 1-1 draw at 12.64%. 1-0 Southampton win at 11.49%. Goals market under 2.5 goals. Both teams to score, yes.
Under 2.5 goals feels like a safe play here. Neither team is exactly lighting up the scoreboard this season.
Agreed. But if you're feeling adventurous, I'd keep an eye on Wolves' counters. Live betting could be a great option here. If Wolves start strong and you see Nito or Kuna getting in behind, betting on a Wolves goal could offer some decent value.
Good point, Dom. And for those who prefer a safer approach, the both teams to score market looks promising. Wolves have enough firepower to nick one, and Southampton will be desperate to score at home.
So, to sum it up, Southampton are the favourites, but this game has all the makings of a tight, scrappy contest. Bet smart, bet small, and as always, keep it fun.
And if it ends 0-0, blame the weather.
Or blame Chi Adams for missing sitters.
Okay, let's not be too harsh on him. Up next, we'll break down Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest. Stick around for more AI-driven insights. Next up, we head to Portman Road, where Ipswich Town host Nottingham Forest in what promises to be a fascinating clash of styles. Kickoff is set for 2 p.m. this Sunday, and the weather couldn't be better. Clear skies, mild temperatures, and perfect conditions for an open, attacking game.
The rare English football day where you don't need a raincoat or a backup plan for a waterlogged pitch. It's practically tropical by UK standards.
Don't jinx it, Dom. Knowing our luck, there'll be a freak hailstorm 5 minutes before kickoff.
Let's hope not, Kat. But weather aside, this is a huge game for both teams. Ipswich have been flying high at home, and Forest are desperate to turn their season around. It's a classic matchup of possession versus counter-attack, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Exactly. Ipswich will want to dominate the ball and dictate the tempo, while Forest will be happy to soak up pressure and hit on the break. It's a tactical chess match waiting to happen.
Alright, let's dive into the numbers. Ipswich are strong favourites here with a 68.14% chance of winning. The draw comes in at 18.29%, and Nottingham Forest are given just a 13.58% chance to steal an away win. Wow, that's a pretty lopsided prediction. Ipswich fans will love those numbers, but Forest supporters, not so much.
Yeah, but let's not get carried away. AI doesn't account for things like Forest's unpredictability or Ipswich potentially underestimating them. Those probabilities are a starting point, not the final word.
True, and the most likely scorelines reflect that this could still be a tight game. The AI suggests a 1-1 draw is the most probable result at 12.55%, followed by a narrow 1-0 win for Ipswich at 11.77%. So while Ipswich are favourites, Forest have enough in their locker to make this interesting.
Interesting indeed. Dom, what's your tactical take on how this one might play out? Alright, let's start with Ipswich. At home, they've been phenomenal. Their attack is spearheaded by Connor Chaplin and Nathan Broadhead, two players who've been combining brilliantly all season. Chaplin's movement between the lines makes him a nightmare for defenders, and Broadhead's finishing is clinical when he gets a sniff of goal.
And they're not just about individuals, are they? Ipswich's possession-based style is one of the best in the league. They control games, pin teams back, and create chances through patient build-up play.
Exactly, but that possession can also leave them vulnerable. Forest's counter-attacking setup is tailor-made to exploit any gaps Ipswich leave at the back. Taiwo Awoniyi is a powerhouse up front, strong, quick, and capable of bullying defenders. And then there's Morgan Gibbs-White, who's the creative spark. If Forest can get the ball to him in dangerous areas, Ipswich could be in trouble.
So, it's Ipswich's control versus Forest's chaos. But does Forest's counter-attacking style have what it takes to break down Ipswich at home?
That's the big question, isn't it? If Forest can stay compact and disciplined, they'll have chances. But if Ipswich get an early goal, it could be a long afternoon for Steve Cooper's men.
And let's not forget Ipswich's home advantage. They've been rock solid at Portman Road, and with the crowd behind them, it's hard to see Forest dominating for long stretches.
Alright, let's talk bets. Based on the AI predictions and our analysis, here's what we recommend. 1. Best bet Ipswich to win at 68.14%. With their home form and attacking firepower, they're the clear favourites. 1. Alternative bet, the draw at 18.29%. If Forest can frustrate Ipswich and nick a goal on the break, this could end all square. 3. Correct score bets. 1-1 draw at 12.55%. 1-0 Ipswich win at 11.77%. 4. Goals market, both teams to score, BTTS yes. With Forest's counter-attacking threat, they should get at least one. Avoid over 2.5 goals, as this is likely to be a low-scoring affair. BTTS feels like a solid option here. Forest have enough firepower to grab a goal, but Ipswich's attack is too good to be kept quiet at home.
Agreed. And for those who prefer a safer bet, I'd recommend going with draw no bet for Ipswich. That way, if it ends in a draw, you get your stake back. It's a good way to hedge your bets in a game like this.
Exactly. And for anyone looking to play the long game, live betting could be interesting here. If Ipswich dominate early but don't score, Forest's odds for a counter-attacking goal will start to look very tempting.
Great advice. So, to sum it up, Ipswich are the clear favourites, but Forest's counter-attacking threat makes this a tricky one to call. Bet smart and, as always, keep it fun.
And if Forest somehow win 3-0, just remember, we warned you about their unpredictability.
Or we just blame the AI for missing that one.
Alright, that's match 2 done. Up next, we'll discuss how to handle AI model disagreements when betting. Stick around for some pro tips.
Alright, let's dive into the brains behind our predictions, the AI models. Now, as much as we love talking about players and tactics, these models are the unsung heroes of our analysis. They crunch thousands of data points, from recent form to historical head-to-heads, and give us probabilities that help guide our insights. But how accurate are they? Let's take a look.
So here's the breakdown. The neural network model takes the crown with an accuracy of 59.37%. Pretty impressive, right? But not far behind, we've got the bagging model at 58.73% and the Bayesian model at 58.41%. And then there's XGBoost at 55.56%, which, while slightly lower, still offers reliable insights. Okay, Kat, for those of us who aren't computer scientists, what exactly does all this mean? Why is one model better than another?
Great question, Anna. Each model has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, the neural network is fantastic at spotting complex patterns in large datasets, like how a team's form fluctuates during fixture congestion. But it can sometimes overfit, meaning it gets too focused on specific data points and misses the bigger picture.
Right. And that's where models like the Bayesian and bagging models come in. They're a bit more balanced. The Bayesian model is great at handling uncertainty, like when a team has a bunch of injuries, and you're trying to predict how that impacts their chances. Meanwhile, the bagging model essentially combines multiple smaller models to smooth out any wild predictions. It's like averaging out opinions in a group, less risky, more stable.
So it's all about finding the right tool for the job. But Dom, how do these models handle the human element, like tactical changes or emotional factors? Surely they can't predict everything, right?
Exactly, Anna. And this is where blending AI predictions with good old-fashioned tactical analysis becomes essential. AI models are brilliant at processing things like recent form, historical data, and even weather conditions. But they can't account for, say, a manager deciding to park the bus out of nowhere, or a player having a nightmare game because they're distracted by off-field issues.
Or for that matter, something like a team's mentality heading into a match. AI might see Nottingham Forest's poor form and give them a low win probability, but it can't predict if Steve Cooper gives a rousing halftime speech that turns the game on its head.
Exactly. AI doesn't do halftime speeches, yet. But what it can do is give us a solid foundation. Take Ipswich versus Forest, for example. The AI models highlight Ipswich's dominance at home, but it's up to us to layer in the tactical context, like how Forest's counter-attacking style could disrupt Ipswich's possession game.
So, it's about using AI as a starting point, not the final word. Got it. But Dom, what about when the models disagree? Like, if one gives Ipswich a 70% chance to win and another only gives them 60%?
Great question. When the models disagree, it's usually because they're weighing different variables more heavily. For example, the neural network might prioritize recent form, while the Bayesian model might lean more on historical head-to-head results. That's why blending predictions is so powerful. By combining insights from multiple models, we can get a more balanced view.
Exactly. Think of it like this. If one model is shouting Ipswich will definitely win, while another is whispering not so fast, Forest might surprise us. You don't ignore either. You take both into account and adjust your expectations accordingly.
So it's like getting advice from two friends, one who's super confident and one who's cautiously optimistic. You listen to both and then make your own call.
Exactly, Anna. And that's where we come in, to help you interpret what the AI is saying and put it into context. Because at the end of the day, football isn't played on spreadsheets, it's played on the pitch.
Well said, Dom. So to sum up, our AI models are incredibly powerful tools, but they're not magic crystal balls. They give us probabilities, not certainties. By blending their insights with tactical analysis and a bit of common sense, you can make smarter predictions and hopefully smarter bets. And if all else fails, just blame the AI, right?
Always. It's what they're here for.
Don't let the robots hear you say that, Dom. They might start plotting against us.
All right, that's our deep dive into the AI models. Coming up next, we'll preview a heated London derby that's got title implications written all over it. Stay tuned. All right, let's talk strategy. We've all been there, those tight matches where the probabilities are razor thin and it feels impossible to call a clear winner. Whether it's two evenly matched teams or a game where anything can happen, these are the kinds of matches that can trip up even the most experienced bettors. So how do you handle them? Let's break it down.
Step 1. Don't panic. Step 2. Don't bet your entire bankroll because you're convinced you've cracked the code. Tight matches are unpredictable by nature, and that's what makes them so tricky and so fun.
Exactly, Dom. And step 3, have a plan. Betting on tight matches isn't about picking the winner, it's about finding value in alternative markets. That's where the real strategy comes in.
Let's start with the basics. When you're dealing with a tight match, say something like Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest, where the AI gives Ipswich a 68% chance to win, but still leaves room for a Forest upset, it's important to approach it with caution. These kinds of games are where the margins are thinnest, and one moment of brilliance or a defensive mistake can flip the script.
Exactly. And that's why betting on just the outright winner can be a risky play. Sure, Ipswich might be favourites, but Forest have enough firepower to make things interesting. In matches like these, you need to look beyond the obvious.
Right. So Kat, what are some alternative bets that can help bettors navigate these tight scenarios?
Great question, Anna. When it comes to tight matches, alternative bets are your best friend. Here are 3 key strategies to consider. 1. Double chance, win or draw. This is perfect when you're backing the underdog, or a team you think will avoid defeat. For example, if you think Forest might hold Ipswich to a draw or even sneak a win, a double chance bet covers both outcomes. It lowers your odds slightly but gives you more security. 2. Both teams to score, BTTS. Tight matches often feature evenly matched attacks and defences, so BTTS is a great option. In a game like Ipswich versus Forest, where both teams have attacking threats, betting on both teams to score can be a safer play than trying to predict the winner. 3. Draw no bet. This is one of my personal favourites. It's a hybrid between betting on a winner and playing it safe. If you back Ipswich with a draw no bet wager, you win if they win, but you get your stake back if it ends in a draw. It's a great way to hedge your bets.
And what about over-under markets? Do those work for tight matches?
Absolutely. In tight matches, under 2.5 goals is often a solid bet, especially if both teams are cautious or defensively strong. But if you expect an open game, over 2.5 goals can offer good value too. The key is to read the game and the team's styles.
All right, Dom, let's talk about something every bettor struggles with: staying disciplined, especially in these unpredictable games. How do you manage your bankroll in tight matches?
This is the big one, Anna. Bankroll management is everything. When you're dealing with tight matches, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and start throwing money at every market you see. But that's a fast track to losing more than you can afford. Here's my golden rule. Never bet more than 1 to 2% of your total bankroll on a single wager, no matter how confident you feel.
That's so important. Tight matches are inherently unpredictable, and even the best analysis can't account for a red card, a penalty, or a free-own goal. Betting small ensures you stay in the game, even if things don't go your way.
Exactly. And another thing, avoid emotional betting. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people double down on a losing bet because they're sure their team will turn it around. Or worse, they chase losses by betting on the next match without thinking it through. Tight matches are emotional enough. Don't let that cloud your judgment.
So, basically, don't bet like you're managing a team in the 90th minute, throwing everyone forward and hoping for the best.
Exactly. Stay calm, stick to your strategy, and remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
So to sum it up, tight matches are tough, but they're not impossible to navigate. Use alternative bets like Double Chance, BTTS, and Draw No Bet to give yourself more flexibility. Manage your bankroll carefully, and most importantly, don't let emotions drive your decisions.
Wise words, Kat. And remember, betting is supposed to be fun. If a match feels too unpredictable, it's okay to sit it out and just enjoy the game.
Exactly. And if you're really unsure, just bet on how many times the commentators will say it's a game of fine margins. That one's always a lock.
Or how often they mention the weather. It's England after all.
All right, that's your guide to handling tight matches. Coming up next, we'll take a closer look at this weekend's marquee matchup and why it could be a title decider. Stay tuned. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. We've covered some fascinating matchups, dug into the numbers, and shared strategies to help you navigate the weekend's action. Whether it's Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest or one of the other tight games this weekend, we've given you the tools to bet smart and stay ahead of the game. Remember, it's not just about picking winners, it's about finding value and making informed decisions. And hey, we want to hear from you. Drop your predictions for this weekend's matches in the comments below. Who do you think will come out on top? Ipswich? Forest? Or maybe a surprise upset in one of the other games? Let us know.
Before we go, I want to emphasize something really important: responsible gambling. Betting should always be fun, not stressful. Use the tools we've shared today, like AI predictions and tactical insights, as a way to supplement your own knowledge. But remember, no prediction is ever a guarantee. Sometimes the beauty of football is in its unpredictability.
Exactly, Kat. That's why we love it, right? 1 minute, you're sure Ipswich will dominate, and the next, Forest score a 90th minute screamer. It's what keeps us coming back for more.
Absolutely, so set your limits, stick to them, and don't chase losses. Enjoy the games for what they are, a chance to connect with the sport we all love.
And on that note, let's not forget the most important thing. Enjoy the weekend's football. Whether you're betting, watching with friends, or just following the scores, make it fun. The AI models, the stats, the strategies, they're all tools to enhance the experience, not replace it. So bet smart, stay safe, and soak in every moment of the action.
Well said, Dom. And remember, if your bets don't pan out, you can always blame him for jinxing it with his halftime speech jokes.
Hey, I just call it like I see it.
Or blame the AI, it's always the safest option.
Alright, that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got some big matches coming up next week, including a London derby that could shake up the title race. You won't want to miss it.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Gambler's Ruin Project. Remember, our content is for informational purposes only, and all predictions are AI generated. Gambling can be addictive, so please bet responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help with gambling addiction, here are resources that can provide support. North America. Contact the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-5224-700, available 24/7 for confidential help. UK. Reach out to BeGambleAware at 080880200133 or visit begambleaware.org for information and support. Bet smart, bet safe, and as always, remember to keep things fun and balanced. We'll see you next week for more insights. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more AI-driven insights and pro betting tips each week. See you next time. The Gambler's Ruin Project, where the odds get cracked.